On the surface, their marriage looked ordinary. No public history of violence. No dramatic police records that suggested what would come next. Friends described them as quiet, private, the kind of couple that handled their issues behind closed doors. But what no one saw was the pressure building inside a man who believed he had been wronged, and who decided that the world needed to hear his side before he pulled the trigger. In the days leading up to the murder, the husband began recording himself, alone, seated in a dim room, speaking directly into his phone camera. His voice was calm, deliberate, almost rehearsed. He framed the videos as confessions, but they were something darker, justifications. He spoke about betrayal, disrespect, humiliation, about how his wife had pushed him too far. In his mind, this was not a crime, it was revenge. What made the case chilling was not just the murder itself, but the premeditation documented in real time. He wasn't spiraling uncontrollably. He was preparing. In one recording, he looked straight into the lens and said words investigators would later replay over and over. When you hear this, it will already be done. Those videos were saved. Some were sent to friends. Others were stored on his phone, as if he wanted them discovered. He wanted his narrative preserved. According to family members, the couple had been struggling for months. Arguments over money, accusations of infidelity, control issues that escalated quietly. The husband had grown increasingly paranoid, convinced that his wife was planning to leave him, or worse, make him look foolish. To outsiders, the wife appeared strong and composed. She continued working, stayed connected with friends, and never publicly disclosed fear for her safety. Like many victims of domestic tension, she believed the conflict was survivable, temporary, fixable. What she didn't know was that her husband had already crossed a line internally. Psychologists later noted a dangerous pattern in the recordings, grievance-fueled thinking. He framed himself as a victim of injustice, repeatedly stating that no one listened, and that this act would set the record straight. This mindset, where violence is seen as a form of communication, is common in premeditated domestic homicides. On the day of the killing, he made one last video. He was composed. He did not cry. He did not rage. He spoke slowly, outlining what he believed his wife had done to him. He claimed she had ruined his reputation, taken advantage of his love, and stripped him of dignity. He said he had no other choice. At one point, he paused and said something investigators would later describe as hauntingly detached. "I've made peace with this." That sentence marked the point of no return. He stopped recording. He saved the video. Then he went to find his wife. The shooting happened inside their home. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, no neighbors heard screaming, only the sharp crack of a gunshot that came too late for anyone to intervene. She was shot at close range. When emergency responders arrived, she was already gone. The husband did not flee. Instead, he sat down and called authorities himself. His voice on the call was steady. He gave his address. He told them where the weapon was. He said, "I did what I said I would do." When police entered the home, they found him exactly where he said he would be, waiting. During the investigation, detectives uncovered the recordings on his phone, video after video, laying out his mindset step by step. Unlike many crimes where motive must be pieced together, this one was handed to authorities in the killer's own words. Prosecutors later described the recordings as a roadmap to murder. In court, the defense attempted to argue emotional distress, mental breakdown, temporary insanity, but the videos destroyed that narrative. They showed planning, awareness, and intent. He knew what he was doing. He knew it was wrong, and he did it anyway. The judge would later note that the recordings removed any doubt about premeditation. News of the case spread quickly, especially after details of the recorded confessions became public. Many struggled to understand how someone could calmly document their intent to kill and then follow through. Domestic violence advocates pointed out a crucial truth. Not all warning signs are loud. Some are quiet, calculated, and hidden behind controlled behavior. Friends of the victim expressed guilt. They wondered if they had missed something, if they should have pushed her to leave sooner, if they should have taken the tension more seriously. But experts emphasize that responsibility lies solely with the killer. The husband was convicted of first-degree murder. He received a lengthy prison sentence with no possibility of early release. During sentencing, the judge addressed the recordings directly. You did not lose control. You exercised it coldly and deliberately. He will spend the rest of his life behind bars, while the woman he claimed to love lost hers in seconds. This case stands as a disturbing example of how technology has changed modern crime. Confessions are no longer written letters found later. They are videos, live streams, digital footprints left behind intentionally. It also underscores a painful reality. Revenge narratives are often constructed before violence occurs. When someone begins framing harm as justice, the danger is immediate. For viewers and listeners, this story is not just about shock, it's about awareness. About recognizing that threats, recorded or spoken, should always be taken seriously. About understanding that control and resentment can be just as lethal as rage. And most of all, it is about a life taken unnecessarily by a man who wanted to be heard, even if it meant killing the person closest to him.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.